try to get it.
Absolutely.
So there wouldn't be any characters avoid criminal.
Kim Cornell? Kim Cornell.
Certain things are just what he saw.
Just what he saw.
But yeah.
Anyway, so Cornell, Shining, Zimmerman. Here, my age. You don't suspect anything out there you want. There's upside to come and see you because I expect you're not going to get everything you want out. So you have a course of examination to get out and see you.
I've been to Mossy, he's retired.
That is confidential information. It's confidential. If you need him back, he's going to let me know on every subpoena.
Court's back in session.
Okay, please be seated. Is there anything we need to take up before we bring the jury in?
Yes, sir. Nothing to take up.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring the jury. Where's Detective Hernandez?
She's here. She's, I think, in one of the rooms.
If you would, please. Okay, let's go ahead and bring the jurors in.
Jurors are present.
Please be seated. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed your lunch. While you're getting settled in, I'm going to go through my questions again. If your answer is yes to any of the questions, please raise your hand. During the lunch recess, did any of you have any conversations with each other or with anybody else about the case? No hands are being raised. Did any of you overhear anybody talking about the case? No hands are being raised. Did any of you read or listen to any radio, television, or newspaper reports about the case? No hands are being raised. Did any of you read or create any emails, text messages, tweets, blogs, or social networking pages about the case? No hands are being raised. Did any of you use any type of an electronic device to go on the internet to do independent research about the case, people, places, things, or terminology? No hands are being raised. And finally, did any of you drive by any of the places described in the evidence for the purpose of doing an independent investigation? No hands are being raised. Thank you very much. Mr. Stone, you may proceed.
Your Honor, at this point, I'd like to call you to the recording.
You may do so.
Like I said to you earlier, my name is Michelle Hernandez, detective here with the Clarence Police Department, okay?
Forgive me, I have a hard time hearing. My ears are ringing really loud.
Okay.
Just speak up maybe a little bit.
All right. Do you need any medical attention or anything like that? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. So, you obviously know why we're here. And if I could just, I'm sure you talked to all the officers out there on scene, but just can I get your account of the events that happened today? And
Sure. About lunchtime, I normally grab my mother some lunch, myself some lunch, head home, whatnot, have an hour for lunch, because I live not too far, but I come back to work. I told my mother today, because I ordered some time to make up, that I wasn't going to work. I was going to work through lunch. And I picked up her Taco Bell and all that, bring it back to her. And as I got back to the office, a low back pain, I had to take my medicine, I realized I didn't have it. My mother's my boss. Janet F. White. She owns WK White and Associates, my employer. So I said, Mom, I need 20 minutes. I live in Winter Springs, but it's a little long way. But on Big Tree Road right there. So I need 20 minutes. I'll go get my pain medication. I'll be right back. She said, she didn't like it. She wanted me to work in, but she said, okay, hurry up. Went to my place, pain medication, and back, coming, taking a left-hand turn off of Longwood Lake Mary Boulevard onto Lake Mary Boulevard. This time I'm turning into my office, realizing that I have one cigarette left and one strip, like 6 nicotine gum pieces. I said, crap, she's probably going to beat my butt. I got to get another pack of cigarettes. So I didn't turn in, kept going down Lake Mary Boulevard, because you have from there, you have to go into Waymont Court, you have to make that U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I never turned into Waymont Court.
okay.
Continued going east down the Lake Mary Boulevard, and going towards the 7-Eleven.
So you were coming from Longwood Lake Mary Road towards 7-Eleven?
Let me come from Longwood Lake Mary Road. Now here, here's my office.
On Waymont?
Yeah.
So you'd be traveling west?
Okay.
Towards I-4?
At this point, yes.
Okay, continue.
West towards I-4.
I just want to verify.
Because I turned into work, realized I had no cigarettes. Had one. So I said, well, all but the 7-Eleven. I go. I can't tell you the distance. I prefer going up to the 7-Eleven or Country Club, but whatever, I used both of them. And my intentions were to go to that one. But anyways, I find myself in the exact situation. I find myself all of a sudden with a Honda Ridgeline, a gentleman whom I know by face very well, reaching out to me and reaching a gun at me, saying, I'm going to kill you. I didn't let it go any further than that. I took my .357, I cocked back the hammer, I fired one shot. I lowered my window, I fired one shot. Him or me. This is the third incident. The other two, he had guns on. He's hiding out for me. I've been a hunter, target shooter since, I don't hunt now, but I've grown up with guns. I've never wanted to even think about taking somebody's life. I mean, I had the opportunity to take care of him. The first incident, I mean, everybody was, why didn't you? Well, I've got things to lose. I've got business, I do law. I don't need to have my name in the news, this, that, and the other. This was a different situation. When you get a gun pointed in your face, you take care of business. I put a hole, I shot, as far as I noticed, let's say that this is the passenger side window. Say the hole was right about where a head would be if a passenger were there, sitting in there. And I noticed no passenger was in there.
Okay. Well, just so you know, you're not under arrest or anything like that, okay? So I don't want you to think you're in custody or anything like that. And so the questions that I'm going to ask you from here on out, they're going to be in relation to the events that happened. So you're not under arrest, you're not in custody, you're free to leave. So when I'm asking you questions that you don't feel comfortable answering, then you can leave. The doors are unlocked. I just want to clarify some things first. The information that you told me, that was the information that you told the officers on scene. What happened
Not
today?
to the extent that I told you.
Specific details.
But I told you, but
What exactly did you tell them?
he came up on me on Lake Mary Boulevard, threatened me with a gun, pointed a gun at me, and I shot.
Okay, that's what you told them.
That's what I told.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Now, Detective Hernandez, did there come a time when you executed a search warrant, search Mr. Apperson's vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And that was done pursuant to a search warrant that was signed by a judge?
Yes, it was.
And when did that take place, the search of Mr. Apperson's vehicle?
It was midnight that same day.
And where did that search take place?
At the Lake Mary Police Department.
And is it impound locked at the department?
Yes.
Did anyone assist you in conducting that search?
Lieutenant Biles, who's now a captain.
Excuse me, Your Honor, may I approach with Mr. Stone for 1 minute?
Yes.
Now, Detective Hernandez, during the course of your search of Mr. Apperson's vehicle, were photographs taken to document the search itself and any items that may have been located in the course of the search?
Yes, I took photos.
Yes, you may.
Well, I'm showing Mr. LeFay for identification, WV U, T, S, R, Q, P, and O.
No objection.
Okay, you having them introduced?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
State's Exhibits O through W will come into evidence as State's Exhibits 33 through 41. O is in 2 also. O is number 33. I'm sorry?
We had N in here, that's nice.
Well, he announced O, he was showing O through W. Are you seeking to introduce N also?
Yes.
Any objections?
No objection.
Okay, then N will come in as 42. Yes, you may.
Let me show you what has been introduced into evidence as 41, State's Exhibits 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, and then 42. And ask if you recognize those photographs. Generally, what are those photos? I'm going to show each one of them in a moment, but can you tell the jury in general what do these photographs show?
Those photographs were taken on the night we did the search warrant for Mr. Apperson's vehicle.
Thank you. First, let me show you State's Exhibit 42. And ask you what 42 depicts.
This is a picture of the passenger side of Mr. Apperson's vehicle.
And that's at the impound lot?
Yes, sir, at the impound lot.
Let me show you 33. Another photograph simply of Mr. Apperson's vehicle at the impound lot?
Yes.
Showing you 34. Once again, another photo.
Yes.
Let me show you 35 now. Can you tell us what 35 depicts?
This is the interior of Mr. Apperson's vehicle from the passenger side.
And now in this photograph, do you see, was there a butt of a gun?
Yes.
And through use of the laser pointer, can you show us where it is?
It is right there. There you go.
Let me show you 36. Now zoom out a little bit. Can you show us, do you see the butt of a gun in this photograph?
Yes.
Can you show us, please?
It is there.
Now, Detective Hernandez, let me ask you, at this point, has anything been removed or taken from Mr. Apperson's vehicle?
No, just taking pictures.
Okay, so these photographs are before anything was disturbed?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now let me show you State's Exhibit 37. That's simply a close-up of the butt of the gun?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Let me show you State's Exhibit 38. What does that show?
That's a picture of the gun once we took it out from between the seat and center console.
State's Exhibit 39. Does that show?
That's a picture of the cylinder of the gun with the 5 rounds, and this round right here has an indentation.
Oh, now let me ask you, you see the back of 5 rounds, of 6 rounds. Was one of them just simply, and I think you just indicated that, one of them just simply a spent shell casing?
Yes.
Which one was that?
There we go. This is the spent shell casing. It has an indentation from the firing pin.
And the remaining rounds, were they live rounds?
Yes.
Bullets?
They were live rounds.
Now let me show you State's 40. What does that depict?
That is a holster.
Was the gun in that holster?
Yes, it was.
Let me show you finally 41. Just another shot of the holster.
Yes.
Your Honor, Mr. Wheatley does not have an objection to the introduction of this information.
I have no idea what exhibit number it is.
It's,
Pardon?
5 there's 5
We've already gone to triple Z, all the way to, okay. 50 will come into evidence as State's Exhibit 43.
That's 43, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Detective Hernandez, I'd like you to look at what's been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 43 and ask you if you recognize the, that
That is the gun from Mr. Apperson's vehicle.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to publish it to the jury, please.
You may do so.
Thank you.
So DJ, you've gone through 4. He has all of those marked. Okay.
That's all those pictures. This next one,
I'm sorry?
this next one.
Okay.
Showing of Mr. LaFay for identification 5Q and 5P.
No objection.
5P will come into evidence as State's Exhibit 44. 5Q will come into evidence as State's Exhibit 45. Yes, you may.
First, let me show you what's been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 45. And ask you if you recognize it. And look at the markings on the, if it will assist you, the markings on the container or the bag. And then look at the item itself, please. You recognize that?
Yes.
And what is that, please?
This is a spent shell casing that was recovered from the cylinder of the gun.
And let me show you what's been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 44. And once again, ask you to look at the markings on the plastic bag and then the items itself and tell us if you recognize it, please.
This is the holster and the 5 live rounds
From the gun?
from the gun.
Recovered from Mr. Apperson's vehicle?
That's correct.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I publish these items?
Yes, you may.
Now, Detective Hernandez, did you also get a search warrant for Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And what was the reason for that? Why did you get a search warrant for Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle?
I had not spoken with him at that time about the case or the involvement that he had.
Okay. So would it be fair to say then you just didn't know what you had at this point?
That's correct.
So the safe course is just to get a search warrant?
Yes.
Objection. Leading.
Abstain.
Would the safe course be just to get a search warrant?
Yes, it would.
And was Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle, Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle searched pursuant to that search warrant?
Yes, it was.
And when was that?
That was the next day, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And where did that search take place?
The Lake Mayor Police Department in Palmont.
And did anybody assist you in that search of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle?
Lieutenant Biles.
Showing that Mr. LaFay for identification, in H.
Thank you. No objection.
Okay, H through M will come into evidence as State's Exhibits 46 through 51.
Let me show you what's been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibits 50, 51, 49, 48, 47, and 46. Ask you to look at these photographs and tell me if you recognize them.
I do recognize them.
And what do you recognize them as?
They are pictures of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle before the search warrant and a couple pictures of an item that was recovered during the search warrant.
Okay, so these are basically photographs taken at or just before the search of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle?
That's correct.
And let me put them on the overhead.
Okay, can you just publish those that show one thing instead of all of them? Because the jury is going to be getting them back into evidence with them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Show you 48. And what does that depict?
It's a picture of Mr. Zimmerman's passenger side of his vehicle.
It's showing the bullet.
It is right there.
Okay. And let me show you 47.
That's the back of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle.
Let me show you 49.
That's a gun inside of a carrying case that was located in the back of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle.
And let me show you 50.
That's a picture of the gun with the case open.
And where was that? The gun that's depicted in State's Exhibit 50, where was that gun in the carrying case located?
In the bed of the pickup, the Honda Ridgeline.
And Detective Hernandez, from your observation of the cabin of the vehicle while conducting the search warrant, is the bed of that truck accessible from the cabin of that vehicle?
No, it's not.
Now, what is it, well, let me ask you, in your experience as a law enforcement officer, both with Lake Mary, the Lake Mary Police Department, and also you did 9 years?
At the Sanford Police Department, yes.
Sanford Police Department. In your experience as a law enforcement officer, both with the Sanford Police Department and the Lake Mary Police Department, do you know what a tent meter is?
Yes, it's a device that you put on the window of a vehicle when you roll it down, and it reads the amount of light coming through the window.
And did you and Captain Biles use a tint meter to test the I guess for lack of a better word, the degree or amount of tint in Mr. Zimmerman's truck windows?
Yes, we did.
And tell the jury, please, what the results of that testing were and what it means.
Objection, lack of record. You don't have to approach.
Okay, you can approach.
I'm looking right down at 316-2952.
Hernandez, the device that you used, or that was used, to measure the percentage of tin, was that an approved device?
Yes, it was.
And what were the results?
Your Honor, may I refer to for a moment on that?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Detective Hernandez, just a few questions. By which agency is that needed reviewed?
Our agency, Lake Mary Police Department.
The objection is sustained.
Okay,
They're not.
sustained.
Newly approached?
Yes.
Now, Detective Hernandez, at some point did Mr. Zimmerman give a recorded statement regarding the events concerning this case?
Yes, he did.
And when was that?
That was on May 13th.
Where did that take place?
The Winter Park Police Department.
And do you recall who was present for that interview?
Myself, Mr. Zimmerman, Don West,
Who was Mr. West?
Mr. Zimmerman's attorney,
Okay, go ahead.
Assistant State Attorney Stacy Salmons, and Assistant State Attorney Dan Faggard.
Was Captain Miles present?
Yes, he was too.
And based upon the interview that you conducted with Mr. Zimmerman, was a secondary search conducted of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle?
Yes, it was.
And let me show Mr. Lefebvre for identification, X, Y, and Z for identification.
No objection.
X, Y, and Z will come in as State's Exhibits 52, 53, and 54.
May I approach?
Yes, you may.
Let me show you what's been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 54, 53, and 52, and ask if you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
What do you recognize those photographs as?
That was the other gun that we found in Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle on the second search.
And that was, the secondary search was conducted because, based upon the interview that you conducted with Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
May I publish this?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Now, where was this gun located?
This was located within the center console underneath a sliding door, I guess for lack of a better word.
You know, let me show you what's already been introduced in Evidence of States Exhibit 20. Do you have a laser pointer there?
Yes.
Let me put 20 up and ask you, would this assist us, or assist you in explaining to the jury where this gun was found?
This is the center console, and it was in this general area.
Okay. And one final question, Detective Hernandez. This may sound like a silly question, but I need to ask it. Lake Mary Boulevard, that's in Seminole County, Florida?
Yes, it is.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Thank you, Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Detective Hernandez,
Yes, sir.
you are the lead detective in this case, is that correct?
That is correct.
And certainly one of your responsibilities is collecting evidence. Is that correct?
Yes.
And also gathering any or finding and getting statements from any witnesses. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I just want to direct your attention to some months before the May 11th incident, and that would be to September the 9th, 2014. Did you collect a recording of a 911 call made by
Your Honor,
Mr. Apperson?
the objection, and that's beyond the scope of direct examination. I don't believe I asked anything about September 9th.
Sustained.
What has to do with your collection, with the detective's collection?
September 11th wasn't asked, September 9th wasn't inquired and during direct examination.
Let me ask you about May the 11th. You told us first that you responded to Lake Mary Boulevard where Mr. Zimmerman's car was with other Lake Mary Police Department officers, including Officer Call. Is that correct?
Yes.
And as lead detective, it's important to get witness statements. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And certainly, in this case, main witness would be, would state, Mr. Zimmerman, is that correct?
Yes.
And in your work, Detective, the sooner you get the statement, the better, correct?
That is correct.
And basically, when you get a statement right away, it's fresh in the person's mind, correct?
Yes.
And when you get a statement right away, you get it before a person has time to spin it, change it up, for lack of a better word, sanitize it. Is that correct?
Yes.
On that day, May the 11th of 2015, you first, as you testified, attempted to get some photographs of Mr. Zimmerman's injuries. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
But you also asked him to give you a statement, correct?
I asked him what happened. I didn't ask him for a written statement at that time.
You asked him for a verbal statement.
Yes.
And he did not cooperate. Is that fair?
That is fair.
You described, or you told us of his reaction where he cursed at you.
Yes.
Now, you saw Mr. Zimmerman in the first when he was with fire rescue and emergency personnel.
Yes.
You identified yourself as a Lake Mary detective. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you had did you have your badge displayed?
Yes. Yes.
So, did Mr. Zimmerman tell you anything that he couldn't do it then because he was in a rush to get to the hospital?
Not because he was in a rush to get to the hospital.
And he remained there. You were at that place near Mr. Zimmerman's car with Mr. Zimmerman and in and out of the ambulance for a period of time. Is that correct?
Mr. Zimmerman being in and out of the ambulance, or me?
Just in the ambulance. I'm sorry. May I start that one?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman was there while you were there for a period of time, around 15 minutes. Would that be correct?
That would be close to the time, yes.
Now, you also went to where Mr. Apperson was, correct? And that was right around the corner.
Yes.
Mr. Apperson had called 911, is that correct?
He had a witness call 911.
I'm sorry?
He had a witness call 911.
And then, to your knowledge, he got on the phone himself.
Yes, he did.
You collected, and as part of your evidence, you collected Mr. Apperson's 911 call, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would move that into evidence.
Any objections?
Yes. Will you approach this?
No, what's your objection?
The objection is hasn't been proper foundation, has been
Okay.
authenticated.
Go ahead and authenticate it.
Have you listened to it? The 911 call.
I did. I don't recall everything verbatim on the 911 call, but I did listen to it, yes.
The CD that I have in my hand, you've not listened to this particular one initially, would that be here?
I cannot see if,
Well, that's good. Your Honor, could I approach the
Yes, you
witness?
may.
Is this your handwriting by any chance, Detective Hernandez?
no, that is not my handwriting.
So you haven't had an opportunity to review this particular CD?
No, I have not.
Thank you. May I take one of them, please?
Yes, you may.
And of course, as you told us, or as we've seen, you interviewed Mr. Apperson at the Lake Erie Police Department. Is that correct?
Yes.
In there, during your interview, you referenced that you knew that Mr. Apperson had spoken to police officers who were with him at Waymont Court. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you knew the basics of Mr. Apperson's comments to those police officers. Is that correct? As you mentioned in the interview.
Yes.
You knew that he said...
Your Honor, objection, hearsay. May we approach? Or the court can rule, but it's hearsay.
Reference.
It's on the tape that the state played.
Can we approach, please, Your Honor?
Yes. We approach every 5 minutes.
Sorry.
Without saying what they are, Captain Hernandez, and by they I mean the statements made by Mr. Apperson, they had been related to you and you knew about them at the time of Mr. Apperson's interview. Is that correct?
Yes.
Took photographs of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
This is the secondary search. I think these are all related to the original first search. Except this one was
The first photographs that you took were of Mr. Zimmerman's car there at Lake Erie Boulevard, is that correct?
Yes.
And with those photos, there was a big sun-blocking silver thing blocking the windshield, correct?
Yes.
You also took other photographs later of Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle at the time of the search warrant, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
You never took any photographs from the side rear or the driver from either side rear looking into a sunlit window, is that correct?
No, I did not.
Let me ask you about the search warrant that you got from Mr. Zimmerman's car. You had to get a search warrant because Mr. Zimmerman had not consented in any way to the search of his car, is that correct?
Yes.
Customary when you're investigating a crime that the victims don't require a search warrant if it's a burglary or whatever. You don't, they just let you look, right?
Typically, yes.
But then typically you don't get cussed out when you ask them for a statement either, is that correct?
That's correct.
So you searched. You and actually, is it Captain Biles searched the car?
Yes.
And as you mentioned, that would have been before you spoke to Mr. Zimmerman on the 13th.
Yes, it was.
So, Captain Biles has, how many years of experience does he have doing police work?
Maybe 16. Quite a few.
And you mentioned you've got around 12 yourself.
Yes, sir.
You've searched your share of cars.
Yes.
Thursday?
Yes.
And you have training in how to search.
Yes.
And so, is it fair to say, Detective Hernandez, that when it comes to getting a search warrant and then searching that place, you have a lot of experience, you know what you're doing?
Yes.
So, you searched the kind of ridge line on the, I think you said close, it was a 12.
Yes, it was a 12.
And one of the things that you were looking for was firearms, correct?
That's correct.
So you did this search with Captain Biles. You didn't find the Springfield.
No.
Is that correct?
No, we didn't.
It was a thorough search. Is that fair?
Yes.
Then the following day is when you met with Mr. Zimmerman and his attorney, Mr. West.
Yes.
And during that session, Mr. Zimmerman mentioned that there was or you specifically asked if there was a pistol in the car. Is that right?
Yes.
And he told you, yes.
Yes.
So based on that information from the interview, did you and other detectives go back to again look within the Zimmerman car for the Springfield?
Yes, we did.
You gave it your best shot the second time around. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Say you looked again,
Yes,
you couldn't find it.
that's correct.
Captain Biles, he looked again, searching again within Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle, and he couldn't find it.
That's correct.
There's a Detective Umana
Yes,
with your agency, and she took a try at it.
yes, that is correct.
And is it fair to say that by moving around some lever, that the pistol was found, the Springfield here was found, and Your Honor, for the record, I'm putting up this. The Springfield here was found in a hidden compartment.
Yes,
And it took Detective Umana some time of working on the console to figure out how to get in there, didn't it?
she didn't actually know how to open the sliding door herself. She did find the compartment, but was unable to get it open, so I had to figure out how to open it, and I was able to maneuver that device and open it.
Took you a little while, didn't it?
A little bit. I'm just not familiar with that vehicle or that compartment.
Now, you did not find, I want to speak about the outside of the console. I know we're speaking about the hidden compartment, but I'm asking about something else. You did not find a magnetic fast draw holster. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You did find ammunition
Yes.
within the front passenger area, the passenger compartment, where a passenger would be in Mr. Zimmerman's vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And you inventoried that, and by inventory for the jury, I mean, when you do a search warrant, Your Honor, if I could strike that. Let me ask some questions. When you do a search warrant, Detective Hernandez, basically you list in detail everything that you find.
Yes, that's correct.
And it's basically called an inventory.
Yes,
And that's part of doing the search warrant, correct?
yes,
Your search warrant, you got to do.
yes.
So, is it fair to say that for, and I'm only speaking about the ammunition for these two weapons, for a Glock 9mm and for a Springfield .40 caliber pistol, that you found 336 rounds of ammunition?
I wouldn't know the exact number, but there was quite a bit of ammunition.
Would you agree that 2 times 50 is 100 plus 34 plus 29 plus 100 plus 63 is right up around there?
Around there, yes.
I want to speak to you, or ask you, Detective Hernandez, about the interview with Mr. Zimmerman on the 13th. Mr. Zimmerman, the interview was delayed so that Mr. Zimmerman could appear with his attorney. Is that correct?
Yes,
And Mr. Zimmerman's attorney recorded the interview, did he not?
I believe he did, yes.
very outset of that interview, did the person sitting next to you, was that Captain Boss?
Yes.
Did he tell Mr. Zimmerman, we're treating you as the victim. There's no reason to believe anything other than that?
I don't recall his exact words.
Something along that line?
I don't recall.
Refresh your memory to listen to that.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll put your notepads face down on the chair, follow Deputy Debs back into the jury room. We'll be with you shortly. If you're not able to hear it, detective, you could go down there to listen.
Is it that low?
Or you could bring it up here for her. I don't know how loud we could get it.
Yes, thank you.
Does anybody else need to take a brief recess while we have the jury out? Mr. Apperson, do you need a... Okay, let's take a 10-minute recess. Detective, you're allowed to recess with us.
Oh, thank you.
I may have another 2 minutes of questioning.
Okay, well, they're already out. That's all we're taking. That's fine.
Sorry.